Welcome. I'm Anne Shelgren, Level 3 sommelier and French wine scholar. Today we're talking about how to extend the freshness and the life of your wine. As we head into the holidays, these are tips you won't want to miss, so stay tuned for the short pour. Once you've got your wine bottle opened, time is ticking. You've got fresh wine, you've got it exactly as the winemaker intended, but as soon as you've got that bottle open, the wine is starting its descent into vinegar. With the holidays upon us, many of us will have guests that may only like a specific type of wine that no one else drinks. We're going to have that stray bottle in the fridge that we need to keep fresh for an extended amount of time. We also may have some situations where maybe you've got guests over on Tuesday night and you'd like to be able to reuse that wine on Friday, but you're not sure if the wine will stay fresh in the interim. On average, wines will be fresh for about 3 to 5 days. Okay, so now that we've covered that wine needs to be in the fridge, let's talk about the first of the 3 preservation systems I'm going to share with you today. So the first one, essentially, it's a vacuum pump. And that is where you've got a little rubber stopper that has holes in the top that you place a pump over the top and extract all of the air. So again, we're trying to remove all of the oxygen to get it away from the wine so it does not oxidate. These systems typically are around the $20-ish range. They can go upwards to $100 if you've got an electric component to it. The second way that people can keep oxygen from your wine is to use nitrogen. This is the one I see most commonly in the grocery stores and shops around here. It's called Reserve. It comes with 2 capillary tubes taped to the side of the bottle. It looks just like a bottle of hairspray. When you pick it up, you're going to think it's empty because it doesn't have any weight to it. I've got my capillary tube. I'm sticking it into the nozzle. And the way that this works is that you take your wine bottle. This is a bottle that's not open yet. But you take your bottle, put the capillary tube down the neck of the bottle, give it a quick little and in your other hand, if you're not holding a bottle like I am right now, you've got your cork right here, and you just put the cork back in the bottle. Now, why does this work? Well, essentially, nitrogen is heavier than oxygen. So when you spray the nitrogen in, it will go down to where the level of the wine is, and it will create a little blanket of nitrogen, and then all the oxygen is up here. So you don't remove the oxygen from the bottle, but what you do is you create a layer in between to protect the wine from oxidizing. The third way that y'all may have seen is a Coravin, or there's other brands of that, but essentially this is a Coravin. The way this works is you put the Coravin down over the wine bottle. You can see there's a needle here. It drops the needle goes down through the cork, so you don't actually ever remove the cork from the bottle. The needle will go down inside, and then there's a mechanism where you hit the trigger and it will pour out a glass of wine or however much you want. When I was working with wineries in Texas, they used that a lot. From time to time, they would have people who would come in who would want one of the wines that wasn't as common. And remember, some of these places are remote. Their regulars are always going to order the same thing over and over. When they get a tourist on Tuesday who, say, wants to try one of their specialty wines, they may not get anybody else until the weekend that's going to want from that same bottle. So what they were doing is they were having to pour out entire bottles just to pour someone a glass of wine. So here's the other situation. Maybe you want to spend money on a high dollar wine, but you don't want to drink it all in one night. In fact, maybe you don't even want to drink it in the same week. That's where a Coravin can be really handy. I do use it when I am working on some pairings because I like to pour 3, sometimes even 4 or 5 different glasses of wine or tastes of wine while I'm cooking. The other thing you can do, especially if you are wanting to create some space in your refrigerator, but you don't want to toss out the wine, is I've got these handy little glass bottles. What it does is think about the wine bottle. When the wine bottle is half empty or 3/4 empty, you've got an area about this big around where your wine is being exposed to oxygen. And then compare that to what you have with this little bottle. So we've probably reduced the oxygen exposure by about 90%. And if you take this and add this, then you've really got not only some space saving, but also some preservation of your wine. I find generally that I can get my wines to last 10 days for sure, sometimes up to 2 weeks, depending on the wine. Coravin, you'd have to look it up online just to make sure, but I would be comfortable doing maybe 2 or 3 months. If you have any questions at all about what we covered today, please feel free to reach out. My contact information is in the show notes. If you're interested in any of the products that I mentioned today, I do have a shop on foodwineandflavor.com. You'll see a lot of the products that I personally use and that I recommend for my students. If you're looking for any of these for yourself or good gift ideas, go to the shop. I can hook you up. That's it for today. I'm Ann Shelgren. This has been The Short Pour.